Welcome back, everybody, to another Healthy Hustle. I have an awesome guest with me here today, Dr. Antonella Martino. Dr. Martino is a founder of Health Consultant Pharmacists of America, Inc., and she's a consultant pharmacist and diabetes educator certified in medication therapy management. She considers education the most essential tool in taking control of one's health and wellness. And as a consultant pharmacist, she does something that may actually surprise you. Antonella promotes health in the most non-pharmacological way whenever it's safe. Her goal is to empower each individual to take full responsibility for his or her health through education and lifestyle interventions as primary tools. And with a pharmacist on the line, you'd think that we'd be talking about medication, but that is not what we're going to do today. Today, we're going to talk about gut health. Dr. Martino, thanks for being here today. We're going to dive right in.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Yes. And so you have a unique perspective when it comes to gut health, because that's really where these medications end up being processed, in the gut. Can you tell me a little bit about the importance of the gut when it comes to overall health?
Yes, we do have some medications that more than others will unfortunately affect the gut flora. That's why at that moment it's even more important to support that. However, it is, important just for general health to be on a probiotic and prebiotic therapy for sure. Mm-hmm. We have, for example, antibiotics, the number one medication that can really do some damage in the gut flora, killing bad and good organisms. So unfortunately, that is a good time to even be paying more attention to what we need to do to support the gut.
Sure.
And we have so many other prednisone, all the steroid anti-inflammatory medications, the non-steroids, such as anything you can buy over the counter, right? Aleve, Motrin. Then you get all those Prilosec, Protonix for acid reflux as well that affect that. So this will cause an imbalance of good and bad bacteria and may trigger actually digestive problems like diarrhea, bloating, stomach pain, cramping, irritable bowel syndrome, and many more conditions. And then we have to, again, resort to medications unless we do something different. And that's exactly the difficulty that as healthcare professionals we have in the education, making the person understand how important it is, the gut. The other medications that people take on a regular basis actually, such as prednisone and, the general Motrin over the counter, ibuprofen or omeprazole or all the acid reducers, which affected the gut greatly. And we have, people that are using these agents over 20 years. Mm-hmm. Imagine the detrimental effect on their health when they're trying to actually help themselves, in the opposite directions. And it comes to be, very important, this education on how they can support themselves.
Yeah. Well, what you mentioned is that a lot of people who rely on things like antacids and stuff like that because it's and are may not realize the long-term effects of that aren't very positive. I mean, for instance, how do you what do you tell people to do to try to not depend on that sort of thing as much?
Well, basically, my approach is to discuss food choices that affect that acid reflux or heartburn,
sure.
Which a person may not be able to associate with, causing or medications that are taken again that may affect that aspect in combinations, because some people take 2 or 3 medications that are already affecting that gut balance. So the first is definitely discussing diet and making them aware of other triggers. And then, supporting the gut flora if they're not already doing that with pre and probiotics, for sure. It's the number one, actually, supplements or dietary supplements for, hopefully, we discuss what to pick from and what is the best one that could be effective. And then, of course, then becomes the option of the individual to make that choice. And if we got enough information to them, I think they're able to really make that decision wisely and easily to understand how important it becomes.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, like you said, I think people, when you are exposed to that kind of information, it's not a huge leap of logic to get it,
Exactly.
People, people know that. I think they'd intuit that, of course, this is the gateway to, things getting into your body, and for good or for bad, for that matter. So, yes. So then what, and so you also touched out on that to say, what you recommended, getting people into a state where they are better able to absorb nutrients, that kind of thing. And you just said quite a bit about that. So, well, I guess that was about all the questions that I had. But if people want to reach out and get hold of you, we'll put some information up here after that. But if you have anything else you'd like to add or talk about your business and how people can reach you, would love to hear it.
Yeah, sure. Actually, I'm based out of Florida in the West Palm Beach area. But of course, nowadays with technology, we can be available anywhere. So I will provide my website where people can sort of review what I do on a daily basis, and then the different services, which I do focus on diabetes education, which even there is a lot to do with gut flora to address. And then my website, my email, and my phone number. So anyone that has questions or interested in talking to me, then they can do so. And thank you so much.
Well, Dr. Martino, thanks so much for joining us today. You shared some extremely valuable information that many of us can benefit from. Typically, at one point or another, we'll have the need for a prescription or an over-the-counter medication, and now we know what to do to best support our digestive health through the process. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in tonight. We'll catch you on the next Healthy Hustle.